evil that will occur at the end of times, of which some are taking place in our age. The Prophet spoke of evils that were to occur after his time. Related that Abdullah ibn Umar said, the Messenger of Allah came to us and said, a group of Muhajirin, 5 practices, if you are afflicted with them, and I seek refuge in Allah from you reaching them. Evil does not spread throughout a people to the extent that they proclaim it openly, except that plague and hunger will spread among them to such a degree that was previously unknown by their predecessors. People will not reduce in measurement by cheating with scales when buying and selling, except that they will be overtaken by drought in the lands, by burdensome obligations, and by the oppression of the ruler upon them. They will not refuse to pay zakat on their wealth, except that they will be prevented rain from the sky, and were it not for livestock, they would not receive rain altogether. They will not break Allah's covenant and the covenant of His Messenger, except that their external enemies will be given rain to subjugate them, enemies that will take something from what is in their hands. And as long as their imams do not rule by Allah's book, and they mock what Allah revealed, Allah will make their strength to be used among themselves against one another. Was alone in relating the narration, and it does have some strangeness in it. Related that the Messenger of Allah said, when my nation does 15 practices, calamity befalls it. It was asked, and what are they, O Messenger of Allah? He said, when the spoils of war are hoarded by some members of society only, when people take for themselves things that are left with them as a trust, considering those things to be booty, when zakat is taken unwillingly from the people as if they feel it is a burden or tax. 4 and 5. When a man obeys his wife but disobeys his mother. Disobeys his mother. 2, 3. And when a man treats his friend well but is harsh and distant with his father, when voices are raised in mosques, when the leader of a people is the most base individual among them, when a man is honored because his evil is feared, when alcohol will be imbibed, when silk will be worn by men, when female singers will be used, when musical instruments will be used, when the last of this nation curses the first of it, at that point wait for a red wind, or the sinking of the earth, or for people to be transformed into animals. Then said, this hadith is gharib. We do not know it from Ali except through this chain. Some scholars have made remark upon the memory of one of its narrators, and in another narration said, the Messenger of Allah led us in the morning prayer, and when he completed his prayer, a man called out to him, saying, when is the hour? The Messenger of Allah reproached and scolded the man, and he said, be quiet. When the light of the morning appeared, the Prophet turned his gaze to the sky and said, exalted is he who raised it and planned it. He then turned his gaze to the ground and said, exalted is he who spread it out and created it. He then said, Where is the questioner about the hour? The man rested on his knees and said, I asked you. The prophet said, that is when the imams, rulers, will oppress, when people will believe in the stars, astrology, and disbelieve in Qadr, divine preordainment. A time when people will take for themselves things that were left as trust with them, considering whose considering those things to be spoils. Charity will be considered as a burden or tax, and wicked deeds will increase. At that time your people will be destroyed. Related that the Messenger of Allah said, When spoils and trusts are taken as booty, when zakat is considered to be a burden or tax, when knowledge is learned but not for the religion, when a man obeys his wife but disobeys his mother, brings close his friend while keeping his father at a distance, when voices are raised in the mosques, when the tribe is led by the most wicked one among them, when the leader of a people is the most base individual among them, when a man is honored because his evil is feared, when female singers and musical instruments spread, when alcohol is imbibed, and when the last of this nation curses the first.